So we've been in the test garden and we've been on a live hunt, on a real hunt, wild hunt. So I'm not sold on the 1.11 yet. So I'm going to do some further testing, and as I'm testing, I might as well video it for you all to see. You can make your own mind up. The thing is with a test garden, I have had 1.10 on there, 1.09, 1.08, 1.07. But it's forever changing. The water content of that ground is forever changing, and water content of the ground is a massive influence on the performance of a metal detector. So we're going to take that away. We're going to take it away. We're going to do an air test. That's our stable. We're going to do an air test. We're going to do a distance from coil test. This is not a depth test. I see a lot of people saying depth test. It's not a depth test. What you get here doesn't mean that you're going to get that deep in the ground, because there's too much influences. So this is for a distance from coil test. Now I'm going to do 1.09 and 1.11, and we will see the sensitivity to the metal. I'm going to range different metals, different compositions of metals: gold, silver, bronze, copper and lead. With that being said, we can also go off the audio without everything involved. You might be able to tell just with an air test what the machine is saying. Do you like my heater, by the way? Yeah, this is the central heating for my shed. It works. It does actually work. You've got to get quite close to it, but it's just some candles, and these are just balanced. These rods are just balanced, and yeah, I can feel the heat off that already. Now we're going to use the same settings, obviously. And then what I've done since I've been out, because I wasn't over, it was one of my worst hunts with iron. So I did quite a lot of iron, and I had to raise the IF, the audio. I had to raise the volume of the first tone break to be able to hear the iron. So there was something different. So what I've done, I've come back, I reinstalled a fresh version of 1.11, just to make sure there wasn't any bugs. Now another thing that I do a lot of reading up, so our detector works. You have the TR and the TX, there's two coils, and they're balanced, and it works through induction, which creates a charge in a metal. So when you see these tests where even when you're in a field and one person goes over a target, it produces an eddy currents. And then the detector receives it through the TR coil, and it reads it, deciphers it, and then gives you an ID and an audio to the ID. So believe it or not, that charge stays in that metal for a while until it discharges. So say there's an item in the ground and I scan over it, I've produced the eddy currents in that. So now when the other person comes along, that target will be easier to pick up because it's already charged. So yeah, just a heads up on that one. With comparing, say we had the Mine Lab versus a Legend and we were doing tests, whoever goes second has got that upper hand. What I'm going to do here, it's going to take me a while, so the items will have time to decharge. Maybe I could earth them. I could actually earth the items. They will discharge over time anyway. So I'll do one, and I'll leave it at 2 hours before I do the other one. Do the other test. So the items decharged. It's the same when you go over something. You'll go over it once, but then as you're going over and over it, it's creating more eddy currents in it. That's giving it a better signal it's charging it up every time you go over it. It's sometimes, you know, when you go over and you get faulting on iron, it like blips, and then you go back over it and back over it, and then it starts giving the iron grunt. That's because it's putting more charge into it for then the detector to get more ID of what that target is. And then it's like, oh no, it's iron. Right, so the test items are a tiny silver earring, silver sixpence, a quarter sovereign, so that's 2 grams of 22 karat gold, a copper halfpenny, a bronze penny, and musket balls. The musket ball. So 1.09. These settings will be the same for both versions. What I haven't done is a factory reset. That's why the backlight's on. Now we know it's been factory reset. Let's turn that backlight back on. So we'll do a shift. We'll run it at 25. Field. All metal M1. Recovery 5. IF 3. 1. Which it won't matter. Stability, IF. We haven't got the bottle caps or the ground suppressor or subtraction on this version. The audio gains at 3 on both. Tones. The 2-tone, I'll keep it as stock, which is 3 and 10. Pitch 1 and 22. We'll put that to 10, which won't really matter, and that won't really matter. Got the items here. Big bronze penny. 1 second, we'll put the volume down to 2. It'll be the same for both. Well, let's just move that. That's the earring. The copper halfpenny. £13.5. The sixpence, silver sixpence. £12. The musket ball. £10. The gold coin. 2 grams of gold. £11. And a tiny earring.
5.
So I'll put all the settings in. All I have to do now, this is 1.11. Just let it load up. 25, all the settings are in. All I've got to do is do a noise cancel. Just going through that now. It takes some work, this, you know. I've missed out on the 3 o'clock show of Nokta showing the 3 new simplexes, hybrids, upgrades of the simplex. So already a good foundation is being built on, which I'll get my hands on. I'll get my hands on one, I think. Right, so yeah, everything's good to go. So the bronze coin. $16 inches. Halfpenny copper. About 15 inches. The musket ball. $10.5 silver sixpence. $11.5. I've got to say, it doesn't sound as clear. The 22 carat gold coin. About 11 inches. Yeah, the audio doesn't sound as crisp. Just going off what I'm listening to now. I don't know if it'll come through on the video. The small earring. $5.5, 6 inches. I have just realised something. I didn't have that in. I had it in on the 1.09. And if it'll make a difference. To me, the audio isn't as crisp. And that's live coming from it, and I've used the audio over 300 hours on the Legend. So that's the data, as you would call it. No external influences mattered in that test. That is exactly the same for both detectors. That's exactly the same for the same detector, but 2 different versions. So that's just one of the tests. The next test I'll be doing will be with some iron configurations, seeing how the IF works between the 2, and that'll be a few days, yeah. I'll get that uploaded just so you can compare. Not much in it, but I do think the does it look like the 1.11 is more sensitive? I'll have to look back myself. Okay, thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and all the best fortune. Okay, bye.